866-282-7327. Or if you know a blind person who needs help, please email nfb@nfb.org. A tax deduction you will receive. And it doesn't take the force to be charitable.
Welcome back to Our Voices on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Natasha Nurse, and my guest today is Rudy, Director of Development for the Nassau Community College Foundation, Creative Director of several shows at 90.3 WHPC, and Vice President of Programming for Strong Island Television and Radio. Okay, Rudy, I hope you can behave. And
clearly, we might have to just start over. But go on.
My goodness gracious.
It's Ron's fault.
Oh, the quiet one. Yes, blame him.
It's always the quiet ones.
So when it comes to lessons learned from these brave acts and content creation 2.0 that you're involved in, what would you say has been the biggest lesson learned so far?
The biggest lesson learned is to underpromise and overdeliver.
Oh, yes.
Because I thought in the beginning that, okay, I'm going to do this, it's going to be amazing, and you'll have millions of people and tons of sponsors, and, just you wouldn't have to put any kind of work into it. So I went into this with unrealistic expectations for myself in terms of the whole Strong Island component. The other thing for people who are wondering, Strong Island TV is available. It's internet-based, so they stream live through Facebook. It's Instagram Live as well as YouTube, and we're launching a Roku channel, all of which I'm in the parts of dealing with as well. So people can catch me there. If you go to, just look up Rudy's Room, and it's there.
Very cool.
So it's just, I had to realize that things take time and that nothing truly worth having basically happens overnight. We can't all be kind of insta-famous like a Kardashian or anything like that. And it just doesn't automatically translate. So you have to actually do the work. The other part about that is that when in my role as the Vice President for Programming, when I'm building and developing these new shows, just because you and I start a show tomorrow doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily have the ratings that I have at that point, because it takes time, but I also had the privilege of doing the jump from the radio audience from here, following me over to the TV internet viewing audience.
Absolutely.
And so if you don't have that, then it's not the same.
No, you have to build.
So, and I also, what I learned in terms of the, under promise, over deliver was that I shouldn't, and I did this unfortunately, and I apologize to those shows that I was, working with in the beginning phase, was I basically promised that my audience was going to just follow right over to do that. And no, they're not necessarily just because you want to tune in and watch me talk about the Kardashians, or you want to talk about Bravo or other silly things, or listening to relationship letters from these viewers, doesn't mean that you want to be part of an online book club. It doesn't mean that you want to be involved in a classic movie show or, shape up for a fitness program. So, each show has its own audience, and that has to be authentic. And I wasn't really understanding that. Now I get it now.
Yeah.
So
that's a great lesson that you've shared, because I think a lot of times people think that you can leverage your network onto others, and sometimes it can work, but most of the times not necessarily. If you have a very niche, you have a niche following, right? And so anything that's in line with your programming, yes, but anything on a different tangent is definitely going to have to build it.
And you have to work to leverage that. So it's not just, okay, well, now everyone go and watch this. It doesn't work that way. Feed them and grow. And so now I've made the steps to basically introduce my audience to the different people that are some of the shows that I work with now, so they get a feeling like, okay, and then whatever happens naturally, and it's working much better now.
And also what I've learned as a content creator in media is that what we're all doing is we're building trust. And trust is not built in a day.
No.
So even for the audience we all start to build, it takes time, right? Just because they tune into one show doesn't mean they're going to tune into all
That's
shows.
Exactly what happens. So, it's interesting. So I love that, which is great. How do you decide for yourself? Like, what have been some of your life lessons in the time that you've been doing this show here? Because you've obviously learned a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say definitely the lesson of living your authentic truth. Growing up, my dad had printed a fake newspaper above my bed that I slept with my entire life, and it said, September 5th, Natasha, my maiden name, is a star is born today, right? And I had that, and I saw that every day, and I didn't realize just the level of subconscious training that was putting
Wow.
inside of me that like
Yeah.
that there was more to just a regular job, that I needed to be a star because I was pronounced to be one before I even stepped onto this earth.
Amen to that. That's fantastic.
So thanks, Dad.
No, I think it's great that he gave you that foundation. That's fantastic.
But, I wish I had paid attention. So that's what I would say. The biggest lesson is, like, get in tune with you. I've learned now that, like, the whole idea of, like, you need to find yourself and reflect. Like, that needs to be done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, guys. Like, and I spend a lot of time just checking in with self. Just how are you doing? And also speaking into existence things that you want. I think a lot of people are obsessed and entrenched in negativity, and they don't understand the blessings that they're blocking. So I spend a lot of time really just in diving into positivity and affirmations and just like, what do I want, right? Because the biggest thing that you can do in life is just ask, right? And once you have a clear ask and you have a clarity of what you want, then you can build an action plan. Then you can achieve. But most people refuse to get clear.
They do. Now, what's really funny is that I take that whole thing just a little bit further in that, in terms of not only is it what, and I've come to this much later in life because I'm a lot older than you are, not just what is it that I want, but I really dive into why do I want it, And so in the beginning, and that's what was a real struggle for me in the beginning when I started here with my radio show was, okay, why do you really want to do this? Why do you want to be on the radio?
Okay.
And in my head it was more that, I want to make a lot of money, or I want to be famous, or and it took me a minute, and that's when I struggled in the beginning to really figure out what it was.
Gotcha.
That wasn't it. What I really wanted to do was give people an escape from all of you talked about it, the negativity that's going on.
Yeah.
Because for me, the highlight of my day is when I can have an interaction with someone and I can forget for a moment about my kids who didn't listen, or my boss who may have gotten on my nerves, or the coworkers who were frustrating me, or the guy who cut me off in traffic and stuff. Like when I have that moment to just escape and be authentic with one other person and just laugh and forget, for that moment in time that the world is going on.
Okay.
That's what makes me happy. And so once I realized and plugged into that, it helped me with the radio show to become more successful, and then with the TV show to become more successful, because now I stay focused not on getting viewers, not on getting advertisers, not on any of that stuff, on providing an opportunity for someone to escape, whether late at night if they're home alone at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, or at some point looking at the computer on their job or on their phone just for a moment. And so for me, it's really important to not only say what you want, but know why you want it.
Yes.
And be honest with yourself. And that was a really tough lesson for me, to be honest with myself. Why did I really want it? And don't get me wrong, I'd love money and all that stuff. It's not happening. But it was really...
Speak into existence.
Listen, I'm doing fine. I can buy a pizza or two. Thank you, Strong Island. But I had to really figure out what it was I wanted. And I think people need to do that.
I love this. Oh my gosh. You are listening to Our Voices on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Natasha Nurse, and my guest today is Rudy, Director of Development for the Nassau Community College Foundation, Creative Director of several shows at 90.3 WHPC, and Vice President of Programming for Strong Island Television and Radio.
And I'm a change agent.
Yes, indeed, indeed. For me, it's interesting your why, hearing your why. For me, I guess my why would be sharing stories so that other people know how to be better storytellers and for themselves, as well as understand that you can do it. Because the best way to know that you can achieve something is when other people share their dreams and how they achieved it.
Amen.
Because representation is the key to affirming our own individual dreams and goals. So that's why I like to create content and share other people's stories, because I want everyone to know, nope, it is 2018, 2019, whatever year it is, you can do whatever you want. Stop the bull.
Well, and that's honestly what I love about your show is that you have such a diverse pool of people who come on, who do so many different things.
Yeah.
And I really do legitimately listen to the whole thing. And sometimes I'll even play it back, and it's like, wow, okay, well, I guess I could do that. Because a lot of times it's so easy for us to just say, no, I can't. I can't do this because of that. And then you get people around you. They are so... I find, and I don't know if you've noticed this, people are so quick to tell you all the reasons why you can't do something.
Absolutely.
And it's like a struggle getting them to tell you why you could.
Yeah,
and it's
of course.
so amazing the way that they do that.
Misery loves company.
They do.
And most people, it's easy. Our brains are hardwired for negativity because it's a survival instinct. So, we're afraid of things that we don't know. We're afraid of things that don't have certainty. But if people understood the life they're living, there is nothing certain. Life itself is not certain.
Correct.
So that's why this idea of security and job security, it's all nonsense. Nothing exists. The money is a creation of man. Time is a creation. Everything is a creation.
It's true.
So
it's true. It's true.
If people, because people can't handle that reality, we hold on to boxes and we have to put people in boxes, and that's how our society operates.
We do. We definitely do. And then people spend so much time doing things that they absolutely hate.
Yep.
Only many, many years down the road to regret that they've held on that long. And then you ask them and you try to drill down, I don't know why I stayed on that job, or I don't know why I stayed in that relationship.
They were scared.
They were totally scared. And then they regret it. So,
absolutely.
No, you only get one shot.
Regret is poison. You have to live a life of boldness and fearlessness because there's no other way to live other than to live that way. So I do want people to also know a little bit more about ways that they can get in touch with you. So what announcements do you have? What are the best ways for people who are interested in your shows, collaborating with you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anyone who's interested in meeting me can go to the StrongIslandTV.com website. You can always email me, Rudy@StrongIsland.com. And I am available on Facebook all the time. The name is actually Rudy Breedy, Breedy. I don't use the two together because it sounds like a cartoon character, so that's why I stick with the just Rudy. Okay. But I can be found. I'm all over the place. And if worst comes to worst, come here to 90.3 WHPC. Tell the station director, a.k.a. the warden, that you want to find Rudy. He'll be happy to direct you.
Oh, my goodness. So now let's have you share a little bit more about you.
Sure.
So
what do you want to...
how do you unwind?
Unwind. I am pretty tightly wound, some people would say. But, I do enjoy working out on occasion. Now, I don't love exercise, but I love a treadmill and a good TV show. So I can do that. And a walking, not that running thing. I can't stand that. So I do enjoy that. I love to cook. Sometimes I read, but if it's really any good, they're going to make a movie out of it. So I don't try to do that too often.
Rudy.
It's the truth.
Read every day. It's how your mind grows.
I read. Sort of. Anyway, go on.
Best advice you've ever been told?
The best advice I was ever told was to thine own self be true. And it's just something I have to always continue to remember, to be and stay authentic.
Absolutely. And what is something no one knows about you?
Oh, gosh. It's really funny. People don't know this about me, but I'm actually incredibly shy. People don't realize it. No, believe it or not, it really is true. If you take me off of like the radio or outside of any kind of like public speaking setting,
or the earth,
No, like if we went to like a cocktail party, I'm usually super duper shy because I don't know what it is I want to say, or I get nervous about saying the wrong thing. So I tend to be very, very shy. And then Ron is giving me the stink eye. It's the truth. I'm very, very shy. You'd be surprised. Like I've come to our radio station holiday party, and I'm like always off in the corner, and people think, oh my God, he thinks he's too good. Like I'm like, no, I just don't want to make anything like a fool of myself. So I sit quietly.
Not with you. Lies and fairy tales.
True.
But Rudy, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you see, they're kicking me out.
For sharing and being a part of the 90.3
There's
WHPC.
no part two? I don't get a second interview?
No.
Go ahead.
Thank you for coming on. I hope our audience found you both as informative and inspiring as I did.
And entertaining.
Yes, for sure. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the proud host of Our Voices here on 90.3 WHPC. Our show's creative director is Rudy.
Hey.
Please visit nccradio.org.
I love this music.
www.nccradio.org.
Gonna put that on the iPod.
More information. This will be available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Our Voice is powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.